A young girl named Hana moves to a small rural village in Japan to stay with her grandparents for the summer. While playing outside one day, she hears a strange, deep voice repeating, "Po, po." It's coming from the direction of the woods, but no one is there. Her grandparents grow pale when she tells them. Hana's grandparents frantically rush her inside. They explain the legend of Hachishakusama, a tall, ghostly woman who abducts children. They seal the windows, place protective salt around the house, and warn her not to leave under any circumstances. Hana, confused and frightened, struggles to understand what's happening. That night, Hana looks out the window and sees a figure towering over the garden. It's incredibly tall, about 8 feet, wearing a long white dress and a wide-brimmed hat. The figure doesn't move, but its eerie presence sends chills down her spine. She quickly ducks away from the window. The next day, the grandparents call a village priest, who explains that Hachishakusama is a malevolent spirit that only appears to children before abducting them. He hands Hana a protective charm and instructs her to stay inside and not respond to any strange sounds. The tension in the house grows as night approaches. That night, Hana hears the familiar po, po, po sound echoing through the house. It feels closer this time. Despite her fear, she clutches the charm tightly. The sound grows louder, and the tall figure appears outside her bedroom window. This time, it moves closer, its eyes glowing faintly in the dark. Desperate to escape, the grandparents and priest decide to take Hana away from the village. They load her into a car, surrounding her with charms for protection. As they drive down the narrow roads, the po-po-po sound follows them, getting louder. Hana looks back and sees Hachishakusama floating behind them, gaining speed. They reach the village border, where they believe Hachishakusama cannot follow. The priest performs a final protective ritual, but as they cross the border, the spirit manifests directly in front of the car. The engine stalls, and the family is trapped, watching in horror as the ghost approaches. Just before Hachishakusama reaches them, the priest completes the ritual, and the ghost vanishes into thin air. Hana is saved, but the experience leaves her deeply scarred. Her grandparents warn her to never return to the village, as Hachishakusama never truly disappears. She only waits